Hi, good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, very good afternoon, Prerna. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. So, welcome everyone, and good afternoon. Today I'm live with Dr. Shauli Mukherjee. She's Dean and Director of Adamas University, Calcutta. And today we will be discussing about questions related to current education system. Welcome once again, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Looking forward to the discussion.
Yeah. Ma'am, to begin with, I want to know your views on the current education system.
Prerna, being a person who has been into the education sector for the last 23 years now,
Right.
I'm an extremely passionate academician. And I have been the principal as well as the founder principal of some of the reputed international schools in West
Yes.
Bengal.
Yes.
Currently, I'm the director and dean of a reputed private university in West Bengal, and that is Adamas University.
Right.
So, over the last 23 years or so, due to certain experiences of mine, due to certain triggers which had actually, worked for me,
Right.
uh, I kept on thinking, that uh, our current education system is not quite fit to meet the demands and needs of our 21st century learners.
Right.
So, if I could give you some examples, and if I can also start with certain basic statistics pertaining to the outcome of higher education, we see that almost 50% of the graduates, they do not even get a decent job after completing their formal higher education.
Yeah.
And employers would moreover reconfirm the fact that more than 80% of the ones who do manage to get a job somehow
Yeah.
are not capable enough to retain that job, and they have to be reskilled and they have to be reoriented on the job front. So, if the aim and mission of our education system is to somewhat, you know, uh, provide a decent living after the completion of the higher education, we cannot fail but agree to the fact that our current education system is already failing, it's miserably
Right.
failing, in fact.
Right.
And major reasons for that being, there is a vast and there is a widening gap between academia and industry
Right.
expectations and
Right.
readiness. So academia is failing to prepare the young learners to match the industry standards and readiness. And the implication of that being that the system is churning out more job seekers rather than more job creators.
Right.
Also, I would like to say that the traditional educational norms force the young learners to metaphorically color and draw within the lines. That is, each and every learner is given the same amount of time to learn the same thing in the same way and preferably on the same day.
Right.
So the education system, which is there currently, teaches the young learners to comply and to conform and to compete. It doesn't give any priority to the learners to exercise their creativity and their innovation.
Right.
Say, for instance, the standardized testing that is so very prevalent across all the significant sectors of education.
Right.
So that relies on the learner's ability to conform and to comply. Right from the very childhood, we teach the child to draw and color within the lines, and we applaud the child if the child is able to do the same.
True.
Now, isn't it ironic that we expect the same child, when he or she grows up, to be an out of the box thinker? I mean, how is even that possible?
Right.
Then, if you consider our current education system gives so much of importance to only one kind of quotient, and that is intelligence quotient. So it's always IQ and IQ. But significant research has proved that more than 80% of your success in life, be it in your professional sphere or be it in your personal life, it
Right.
depends on your emotional quotient and not intelligence quotient. I mean, how, wonderfully you're able to understand your own emotions, how you're able to express them, how you're able to understand the emotions of others.
Right.
Also, Prerna, if you see that right from the very childhood,
Right.
be it as educators or as parents, we tend to impress this fact upon our children that it is so very important to come first in everything. You have to come first in academics, you have to come first in extracurricular activities, you have to come first in sports. So competition, or rather cutthroat competition, is
Right.
something that we are teaching our children right from the very childhood. So the two very important skill sets that are required to thrive in the 21st century happens to be collaboration and cooperation, and not cutthroat competition. So, judging by all this, sometimes I feel that our current education system needs a complete overhaul. It needs a complete revolution. And nothing short of a revolution is going to work for our current education system. Because we have to remember that it is a byproduct of the age-old 19th century industrial revolution, which promotes the one-size-fits-all
Right.
educational structure.
Right.
So this needs a complete overhaul, this needs a complete transformation. That is my view for it.
Right. Ma'am, is there a need to reimagine education and learning for the 21st century learners?
Definitely. There is an urgent and pressing need to reimagine both education as well as learning for 21st century learners. You see, 21st century learners, whom we term as Generation Z, I mean, they're so very different in their approach, in their attitude, in their behavior, you know. So they are also very, very competitive. But at the same time, they're very much entrepreneurial. They want to take risks, they want to be heard, they want to have a lot of freedom. And though a lot of people blame them for being, addicted to, technical gadgets and, mobile phones and things like that. But what I feel is that they, they are actually not addicted. They are technology fluent, you know, and hence they consider the technical gadgets to be an extension of themselves. It's very much a part of them, right?
Right.
And social circle is so much a reality for them. Patience is a lost art for them.
Right.
So they always want to take risks, they want to do something significant, they want to be heard, they want to contribute, they want to create a visible and tangible difference. So that is the nature and characteristic of a 21st century learner. Now, if this is so, you consider the conservative and the educational norms, are they going to cater to their needs and demands?
Right.
Definitely not.
Bilkul.
So these 21st century learners, they need a completely different kind of an education and learning. Something which will be personalized, something which will be happy, stress-free, and fulfilling for them. So there is
Right.
an urgent need for all of us to move from a structured, a rigid, an organic, a structured, rigid, and formalized education system to
Right.
some kind of a system which is organic, which is not linear, which caters to the happiness quotient of the learners, the passion quotient of the learners. So
Right.
this is the kind of a paradigm shift that we all require in our current education system.
Right. So rightly, said and explained. Ma'am, your views on the changing roles of teachers. I mean, अगर हम
Yeah, of
pandemic
course,
के
if you have to reimagine the education system, the lifeline is definitely the teachers. I mean, teachers,
true.
you see, Prerna, this is something that is very close to my heart, and this is something which I feel that,
Yeah.
in spite of all the major changes that have happened
Yeah.
last few decades, there is one profession which still attracts a lot of love, respect, and prestige. And
Exactly.
that is teaching profession.
Right.
Because this is one such profession which creates all the other professions of the
So true.
world, and it is still in the hands of the teachers that the future of our nation, and in fact the future of the entire world, lies.
Right.
So it's a position of tremendous responsibility, and at the same time, it's a very, very powerful position. So, 21st century teachers, they have to understand that they are in a very, very powerful role.
True.
They can create miracles, they can create impact, and they can inspire and touch and motivate the lives of the young learners in very, very significant manner.
Yeah. Right.
Now, in order to do that in the context of the 21st century, we have to understand that even the teachers, they also have to be lifelong learners.
Right.
And in fact, they have to be co-learners
Right.
along with their students in
Right.
class or
Right.
beyond class. So from on the stage, they have to evolve into a mentor. They have to evolve into a guide by the side, a
Right.
friend, a philosopher, a guide, a coach. Now, why do I say a coach? Because a
Right.
coach, somebody who will never give you all the answers to your questions. A coach is somebody who will probe you to find the answers
Right.
yourself.
Right. So true.
So that is what a teacher is supposed to be. So a
Right.
teacher is supposed to be a lifelong learner, a self-motivated learner, and at the
Right.
same time has to facilitate the love for lifelong learning
Right.
among his or her students. Now,
Right.
it is, in the context of the global pandemic, I would like to say that
Yeah.
we all have realized, and it's high time that we should realize, that
Yeah.
teaching is not a mechanical task of transferring knowledge and content from one person to another.
Another.
It is
Yes.
rather one of the most sophisticated and one of the most creative professions in the world,
Right.
which enables the young learners to evolve into, uh, you know, a most dynamic, equipped, and authentic version of themselves.
Absolutely right. Yeah. Ma'am, if you talk about teachers, so how, I mean, what in your views, what are the things which teachers should, and how are they taking care of the challenges which, the learners or the students will have to face in the present century? So what do you have to say here?
Regarding the challenges, Prerna, I feel that challenges are inevitable,
Right.
with or without pandemic.
True.
So challenges are inevitable. It depends on your mindset. It depends on
Right.
your perspective. It depends on
Absolutely.
your attitude.
Yeah.
That whether you are going to take those challenges as problems or you are going to take those challenges as opportunities.
Right.
That is
Right.
whether those challenges are going to make you better
Right.
or bitter. Whether they're going to turn you into a victor or a victim. That you have to decide because the choice is always, with you.
Yeah.
So I have a very, very different perspective regarding the, disruptions which
Right.
have been accelerated by the global pandemic. I feel
Right.
that there have been a lot of positive disruptions in
Right.
the field of education, something which our education system needed, you know. So I sometimes think that maybe without the pandemic, without the onset of the pandemic, it would have taken maybe 10 or 15 years more to
Right.
bring about these positive changes, which
Right.
we have in the last 1.5 years.
Right.
So I think the teachers, the 21st century teachers, they have to understand that there has to be a striking combination of two things in them. One is that the teachers have to have a beginner's mindset. Now, what do I mean by a beginner's mindset? A beginner's mindset is something, is a kind of a mindset which is completely adaptable, flexible, and responsive towards all the, new kind of changes that are happening around you. But at the same time, along with the beginner's mindset, I feel that the teachers should also have a challenging and a questioning spirit through which they can challenge and question everything around them which they feel have become redundant and obsolete. So it's only a striking combination between a beginner's mindset on the one hand and a challenging and a questioning spirit on the other will only help enable a teacher to evolve into a empowered
Right.
21st century teacher.
Right. Right. Thank you so much, Shauli ma'am, for sharing your thoughts and views on education system in this 21st century. What's your message to all the viewers who are watching us right now, and later when I'll share it with your college students and other students as well?
I have a very, very specific message to share. I always believe that whatever you want to do in life,
Right.
always ask yourself these questions. That, you know, uh, we all face this situation and we have all experienced it. That we tend to ask a young child that what you want to be when you grow up. You want to be a doctor? You want to be an engineer? So these are the kind of questions that we normally ask the young
Right.
children. Now, instead of these questions, I feel that it would make more sense if the question could have been something like this: that what what is it that you would like to do to bring about a positive difference in the lives of the people around you? Or what is that one problem that you would like to solve when you would grow up?
Wow.
Now, if we keep on asking these kind of thought-provoking questions to the children,
Yeah. Yeah.
their minds will also be preset and their minds will be geared towards finding suitable answers to the same. And the day they get onto those answers,
Right.
they will actually, understand the purpose of their life. And getting the purpose of one's life is something which is so very important. Because
Absolutely.
Prerna, it's not important how much you know or how much of knowledge you have.
Right.
It is very, very important that what you decide to do with the kind of knowledge that you have.
Right.
And more important, I think, is the fact that we all have to understand that why do you want to do something that I want to do? So the
Right.
why is very,
Very
very
important.
important.
Absolutely.
And the why the answer to the why will actually give you the purpose of your life. And the day you
Right.
get your purpose, there is absolutely nothing or
Yeah.
no one who can stop you.
So
Because
true.
you know
Yes.
that purpose acts as a strong magnet to pull
Right.
you towards your vision. And
Right.
then a wonderful journey of success commences. And there is absolutely no looking back. This is my
Absolutely.
message to the young generation: that find your purpose.
Yeah.
Ask yourself often the question, why?
Yeah.
Why do I want to do this?
Right.
So, I mean, it's a magic, it's a miracle. I mean, the day you get an answer, you will get the direction of your life, you will get the purpose of
Right. Thank you so much, Shauli ma'am, for being a part of this conversation and sharing your views, especially like the way we in the concluded part of our talk show, that the purpose of life is very very important, and from a very young age, one should start asking questions like this, and students should also think about it. So once again, thank you so much for being a part, and thank you everyone who watched us live right now.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Prerna. It's been an absolute pleasure to be on this platform today and interacting with you and also getting connected to all the
Yeah.
viewers. It's
Yeah.
absolutely a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.